a bit more codes worked out. And I was just looking something about the 1966 World Cup finals, right? And this sort of led us to a bit more codes, right? But because two of the players, right, that you had in this World Cup winning side in 1966, right, England won the World Cup and that. And you had two of the players, right? One was Cohen, right, and one was Hurst, right? I think Mickey Cohen and Jeff Hurst or something like that, right? So you had Cohen and Hurst, right, in this side, right? So this sort of led us to think the coerced, right? The coerced. See, so you've got the Cohen, right, and the Cohen sort of coerce, right, by the laws of Christ. When you have the sort of Christ, it becomes the coerced. See what I'm saying? Your Cohen and your Hurst, right? And your Hurst, which is like hurts, right? Hurts. So you've got a sort of duality of laws of Christ, where sort of Christ heals or hurts, right? The type of two ideas of it, the healing and the hurts, right? Like here, the kidnapping of Patty Hurst, right? So you've got like the Hurst, the hurts, right? Obviously, when you have like a deed person, that they're gone the hearse, right? So it's like the sort of the dualities there again, right? The Cohen, right? The chosen ones and that coerce. Yeah, coerce the sort of natural ones, right? Coerce them, right? Which means to manipulate and sort of influence and all that, right? To the sort of to the Christ idea, the laws of Christ, right? And if you have like the laws of Christ, right, it's either heals or hurts, right? So when you have a dog, right, you got your God and your dog idea, right? And when you have a dog, you heal. You bring a dog to heal, right? You bring a dog to heal, right? So obviously that applies to the naturals, right? And when you have the other side of it, right, the heal is like the healing of Jesus Christ, healing people, right? Which codes into sort of the tea treatment and all that is the healing, right? So when you have a dog collar, like a dog collar on a vicar, right? The dog collar, see, represents the sort of the God, right? And them as a sheepdog, right? Them's the sheepdog to round up the sheep, right? Which is an obvious enough code, you know what I mean? And but they're sort of led, right? They're led, right? And they're leading the others, right? So again, the dog lead, right? The dog lead, right? And a vicar is basically a Cohen, right? Basically a Cohen. So it's the coercion, see? The coercion to manipulate, influence people's thoughts and all this, right? And when you bring a dog to heel, right, it's sort of like breaking the spirit of the dog, right, bringing it to heel type of thing, right. This leads to the sort of war ideas, right, because I've seen that recently. What they've done is they must have run out of like old people, right, who were sort of around about the times of World War One, right, definitely, right, but World War Two as well. The people must have got that old, right, that there's basically none left, right. So what they're doing now is dropping in a national service idea into the sort of charity ideas and all that, right. So it's like you've seen some advertisement which was for a charity or give to the veterans type of idea, right. Give to the veterans, and then it's sort of just slyly dropped in the World War II and national service veterans. So it's like now they're dropping in the national service idea, right, into the sort of the war idea, right. And obviously, right, if you're about my age and that you've had relatives who were in national service, right, not about 5, 6 uncles who was in the national service and all that, right. And of course, none of these ever experienced any combat, you know what I mean, any killing of people and stuff like that, right. Basically had like a lot of stories about it, right, and all these stories basically about how much of a laugh it was and how what a great time they had and all that. You see what I'm saying? So like definitely no one ever died in national service ideas, right. So it's like, you know what I mean, it's like they went from the World War II ideas, which is, as we know, is a hexiv, right, and now they're trying to drag it on, right, manipulate the timeline, right, into national service days, which is ridiculous. See what I mean? So that's basically playing against like very young people, like about 20, and that's they've got no knowledge of national service, what that was, whatsoever. You see what I'm saying? Oh, give the national service veterans, oh, they served us. They're basically a bunch of young blokes and are having a laugh, travelling around the world and what have you. You see what I'm saying? And one of the stories which was related by my father or uncles or whatever it was, they used to go on the rifle ranges, right, and shoot rifles like once in a blue moon type of thing, right. The majority of the times, right, when they're on guard duty and sort of patrolling bridges and stuff like that, right, they were basically walking with their sort of timber planks or pickaxe handles and all that, right. So they're shielding arms with a timber plank and that, walking up and doing a bridge, right. And again, like the idea that there was combat during national service days, right, comes from the Hex, right. And they made a movie, right, in the 1960s, right, when this sort of national service was just finished, I think. So this movie was about 1969 or something, right. And it was called Stand Up the Virgin Soldiers, right. And again, this was like, I think it was mainly a comedy type of film, right. But they had the sort of obligatory sequence in it, right, where sort of, they always used to make these fictional movies, right, and show it some, like the horrors of war, right, where some character kills like a bloke or whatever, and then it's like, oh, oh, the horror, I hope God forgives me, will God forgive me for this? They always incorporated that type of idea into these movies, right. So it was like this stand-up Virgin Soldiers thing. It was like they were in Malaysia. They went to Malaysia for national service, right, and ended up some rebel guerrillas or something, right, come about and attacked the base or whatever, and that had to end up sort of getting into a bit of combat and sort of killing and that, right, which like just plainly didn't happen. Like I say, the national service thing, definitely nobody died, nobody got hurt there. You know what I mean? And so they incorporate them type of religious ideas in, right? The old hex idea, right? And plain as day, nobody died, nobody got hurt, for definite in the national service. You know what I mean? You see, like maybe a couple of blokes might have died in industrial accidents in the sort of World War II or whatever. But he won't even died in an industrial accident in the national service. It was like laugh a minute type of job. You know what I mean? So it's like again, ridiculous stuff, see? Leading, coercing, right? Coercing to this religious type ideas. Right?